Rise and Shine Rwanda, it's Thursday the 23rd of April.
Coming up on today's Rise and Shine Rwanda. With Rwanda recently topping ICT rankings, are our girls on board as much as our boys?
Taxes, audits, and consultancy. We visit a company that's helping Rwandans with all these issues.
And we have the special edition of this week's movie review.
Good morning. It's just after 7 o'clock in the morning, and you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Makeda Mahario.
And me, Rigi Sisheja. Over the next hour, we'll bring you all the latest news, sports, and lifestyle headlines from here in Rwanda and around the world. And the Rise and Shine team are here in studio. It's Thursday morning, guys. What's going on in the world of the money?
Well, in the money today, we get to learn how to account for our money properly. So we get to visit a firm that's helping us with all these issues. It's really good.
Okay, all right.
Numbers all day.
Gotta know how to handle the money.
Absolutely. Arnold, what do you have in the world of sports?
We look ahead to the weekend's fixtures, basketball, rugby, and the English Premier League. The title race is heating up.
It is, absolutely.
Nice, nice. Okay, all that and more is still to come, but first, Rise and Shine, story of the day.
Earlier this week, I reported on Rwanda topping the latest World Economic Forum's ICT ranking. The country has been leaping when it comes to technology, but it seems boys and girls are not embracing ICT the same way. A group called Girls in ICT has made it its mission to inspire girls to join this exciting field. Take a look. Youth Connect held a hangout on International Girls in ICT Day this past Tuesday, an interaction that was appreciated by those doing what they can to further girls' participation in Rwanda's ICT emergence.
For Girls in ICT, it was certainly a great platform to interact with girls in remote locations. There was a group at Caleb, there was a group in Huye. Just being able to hear their questions, hear their suggestions was exactly what we aim to do. Which is to engage as many people as possible about the value of ICTs, really technology in general, and what it can do for them.
Now, what is Girls in ICT and what's the aim of the group?
Girls in ICT is a group of young professionals, some are in university, but really young professionals, software developers, project managers, executives, policymakers, implementers, etc., that want more girls to know about technology. Now, granted, the International Telecommunications Union started that idea of a Girls in ICT Day. And so when we heard what it's supposed to do, obviously it spoke to us, and we wanted to make it even bigger than just what ITU was doing, to just recognize it. So we came together, we do various initiatives in partnership with various institutions, particularly my ICT, where we go out there, just share our experiences as people that are doing ICT, and hope to inspire more girls to join this exciting field.
With Rwanda having been an agriculture-based economy for so long, how can we convince our girls to be part of the bigger picture?
We want more families to hear about the value that technology brings and be able to encourage their daughters to utilize it and take advantage of it, especially since we're in a country where I think government has invested more than anyone, I think, on this continent in terms of ensuring that Rwandans have access to affordable internet. So that is something that we don't take lightly. It's truly a privilege to have this access, and we see what it's doing for our lives, and it can definitely do the same for every Rwandan, not just girls. We focus on girls because they're the ones that are missing in action. For the most part, when there's a technology, anything, it will be guys. If you go to Caleb, you'll find 50 guys, and you'll find to girls.
Now, why is that?
You know, I really don't know. But I think a lot of it is probably lack of awareness. If I think about going to class to learn, you're learning English, math, social studies, science, and most of that is on the blackboard. You're not interacting with technology. And so I think that alone, that background that someone comes from, does not expose them to that. Two, at home, they don't have, you know, majority of our country lives on subsistence farming. So they have a small piece of land. So all they know is probably that life of mama yagiye guhinga, araje, murugo ararushe, we are eating dinner, and that's it. There is no interaction with technology except maybe to pick up mom's phone or dad's phone that someone has called.
Is it just the girls that Girls in ICT is targeting, or can the reach be bigger?
I think in reaching the girls, we can also be able to reach the parents for them to understand the value of what ICTs can do, starting with whatever they already have in their hands. If we have 70% mobile penetration, that's an ICT tool that someone can use, and we want them to know that. And so we want them to know that and take advantage of it because it can help them solve problems, but most importantly, it can help them earn a living that can help them to help their families and even just develop themselves.
A great cause. Regis Sheja, Rise and Shine Rwanda.
Lots of ICT this week, huh?
Absolutely. I wanted to follow up because there was Google Hangout organized by Youth Connect, which happened, that was 2 nights ago. And when you think about it, that comes on the heels of Rwanda ranking #1 when it comes to government ICT penetration in the country. And it's actually a great thing that girls in ICT are targeting the percentage of the population that's not really embracing ICT like they should. There's no reason why it should be boys over girls when it comes to this. This should be an equal number, and they're trying to understand why. And when Lucy Mbabazi was telling me some of the things we talked about, obviously couldn't be caught on film, but she was talking about how, for example, if your parents lived in a refugee camp in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, and now you're coming home, it's not easy for you to transition right away to that. You know what they knew, basically. So it's a whole new education process. It's a whole new, you have to get acquainted with what's happening now. And, it's a challenge for them. It's a group of women that have gotten together, who are into ICT and trying to inspire girls
More
to
girls.
get into the field. Yes.
Okay, so did she talk about, and I may have missed it, I'm sorry if I
That's
did,
fine.
but did she talk about what society expects of girls in terms of, so many, I'm assuming so many girls don't get into the field, not only because of a lack of awareness, but because they think that, it's more important to focus on having a family, getting married, and doing things like that. Did she touch on that at all?
She did not touch on that. I'm pretty sure that has something to do with it. But she touched on the fact that for so many of our girls, they're used to, thinking about owning a land. That's the end game here. You own a land.
Which is also very important.
It is very important. But then she told me to remember that, this was an agriculture-based economy for so long, still is a little bit, and we have to move on to a knowledge-based economy. That's going to take a while. And she's saying that for that to actually happen, women are going to have to embark on it, and it's going to start with girls. At the bottom, they're the majority of the population, so there's no way around it. Basically.
And also, it's and you said it before in some of your reports that women are kind of like the cornerstone. A lot of things depend on women. Does she think that with the work that maybe Girls in ICT is doing in conjunction with the other organizations that they're working with, does she think that soon maybe it will be a women-dominated industry?
She did not say that, but what Lucy said was that at the Youth Connect,
Sky's the limit, I suppose.
Absolutely, at the Youth Connect hangout that happened the night before, she said it was great to see what women could bring to ICT, what girls could bring to ICT, and she said she learned a lot from the questions that were coming from Goma and all these other places, but also that what needs to happen now is an education phase. It's going to take a while, and she says that it's gotten to the point when she talks about when you go to a lab, there's probably 15 guys or 50 guys
Yeah,
and then 2 girls. That has to change. The number has to change. And she says it's going to change with, the little things like having a phone in your hands, understanding that you can pay your bills online, understanding that you don't have to queue to
It's
actually...
awareness.
Absolutely.
Awareness.
Right.
So did she touch on at all, because Miss Geek is happening, the Miss Geek pageant is happening this weekend. Did she
Right.
touch on that at all?
She did, absolutely. I didn't catch that. I didn't put that in the report, but she talked about Saturday and Sunday. That's going to be taking place at Serena Hotel.
Yes,
And that it's going to be a great way because they have challenges now. It's not just a pageant like we're used to them, but there's challenges also. You have to come up with
An
something.
idea.
Absolutely, an idea, something that, people are going to get out of there feeling like they learned something that they did not know. And she says she actually she's looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it
Absolutely.
as well.
Right.
Of course, we're going to be there covering that. But tell me, did she talk about any plans that they have for the future of Girls in ICT?
What they're doing now is that they want to penetrate inside of because Kigali is, it's doing better than the rest of the country. But when you go to rural Rwanda, especially those places where, like we were talking about earlier, everybody's so used to everything be, agricultural based, it's got to get to the point where people are not queuing at a bank, are not queuing
Anywhere in Rwanda.
Anywhere in Rwanda, and they have to understand that you can actually do that from the comfort of your own home.
Right.
Right.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I love the initiative. I always look out for them. It inspires me to be a girl in ICT, and I'm
Right.
not even in the field, right?
No,
So
you kind
they're
of
doing
are. Come on.
they're doing a great job.
Right.
Thank you so much for reporting on
you,
that.
Mai.
And you are watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Connect to Lusaka 3 times a week starting 27th March. Enjoy comfort and safety at affordable fares to 17 other destinations across Africa and the Middle East.
Fly our dream to the heart of Africa.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Let's get to the money now. Business news. Fidelis Karangwa has the details.
Business stories making headlines today. Members of Parliament have urged the government to ensure that money saved in sectors, savings and credit cooperatives (SACCOs) remains safe and continues to increase if local residents are to maintain the savings culture. Among the issues feared as potential threats to the good management of SACCOs include the continued increase in non-performing loans, the interference of local officials in the management of the SACCOs and poor security provided during transport of SACCOs funds, and many more. Officials have addressed these issues and noted that most of them have already been rectified, with only a few still being fixed. Now, although Rwanda is one of the countries with the fastest economic growth, new businesses do not necessarily stay on the market as issues like poor business plans and failure to pay taxes continue to become a problem for them. Well, worry not. Today we learn about a company that is here to make our businesses thrive. Take a look. Having started its operations in Rwanda just 2 years ago, Deloitte Rwanda is supporting businesses by helping them drive advances across the business spectrum. But with it being a new company in Rwanda, many still wonder what it is that it does.
We are a Tier 1 firm that is into advisory, and our key services are basically audits, tax, and advisory services. When I talk about advisory, there are quite a number of things that we do. But the best description to give it is we help companies start, we help them grow, and when the shareholders decide that they have given up doing business, we help them close those companies.
This company, although new in Rwanda, has been operating in the East African region since the early 1900s, and they say the move into Rwanda was inevitable.
First and foremost, the conducive environment. For us to be able to do business, we need a conducive environment. That's number one. Number two, we've got a number of clients, people that are global Deloitte clients that are coming into the markets of Rwanda and Burundi. And we had to make sure that, we take the services closer to them. Number three, there are 4 pillars that we look at when we are doing business as Deloitte. One of them being the talent pillar. And in that, we look at our people. That's one of the key things, our people as the key assets to doing business. So by spreading within the East African community, going to other East African countries where we do not operate, we again extend our ability to employ quality resources.
Apart from helping business owners in Rwanda, I caught up with the company employees as they work to remember the victims of the 1994 genocide.
Our company wanted to put time aside and just take time to remember our loved ones that passed away and honor them, and just even let the survivors know that we're here. We know what you went through was hard, but we're here for you, and we honor the lives of everyone that was killed during the genocide.
With more Rwandans understanding the need for companies like these, businesses are set for a profitable future. Karangwa Fidelis, Rise and Shine Rwanda. And joining us now in studio is Petronella Namubiru, the manager of tax and consultancy at Deloitte. Welcome, Petronella, to the show.
Thank you very much for this.
Now, let's start off with talking about your company. And clearly the services that you offer might not be quite new in the East African region, but in Rwanda, not so many people understand consultancy or, advisory when it comes to risk management. So how have you guys been able to educate the Rwandan people about the services that you offer and get them to start with maybe seeking out your services?
With the services we do offer, most people do know about audit because it's something they've lived with for a long time. The Rwanda Revenue Authority requires a number of companies to have their books of accounts audited. But when it comes to other services like tax, most people don't even think about tax advisors.
Yeah.
They think that is implemented by the Rwanda Revenue Authority. So until the Rwanda Revenue Authority comes, they don't have to deal with tax matters. It will be an uphill task, but we are trying to work with organizations such as PSF, the Private Sector Federation. We're trying to see how we can work with the Office of the Registrar General at the RDB and educate people and get people to appreciate these services and know that it's a partnership. So while most people's concern are the fees, and we may charge fees for that, but contrary to what people think, it's not expensive as such. It's people are starting to come around and looking at it as a value add to their business. And they're realizing that, it's a partnership and we help the businesses grow and move forward from that. Yes.
So you're basically saying that small businesses, startups should not be afraid to come and look out for you.
No, not at all.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So now we know Rwanda Revenue Authority recently issued a statement, and it was basically saying that most business owners do not pay their taxes the right way, or are late to pay, or don't even pay at all. So what has your company been doing to try and help these business owners to rectify this problem? And have you gotten a lot more clients since this statement was released that now seek your services because they know they would be in trouble if they don't have experts dealing with their taxes?
We have had people come in, who are seeking assistance from us. In terms of non-compliance, I think, again, what we are trying to do is educate people. So for instance, last year we had a budget breakfast, introduce, try and tell people about the tax changes that had been introduced, try and let people know about compliance, because effectively the best way to tax plan is to be compliant, because then you avoid the penalties. But it will take a joint effort between the Revenue Authority, tax advisors such as Deloitte, and the community at large, especially when it comes to the micro and small, medium taxpayers who have not always had to comply and feel that the cost of compliance, may be a bit high for them as a business. So it's a joint partnership, education, training, and we intend to roll out a couple of tax trainings in this calendar year, and it's to bring in especially the small and medium taxpayers, just to let them know how they can comply and that it shouldn't be such a burden to them.
Now, I know recently, again, it was again in the news where there were cases where people say most of the accountants or people dealing in accounting that are in Rwanda are mostly people who are not Rwandan, so basically people from all over the East African region, and accountants in Rwanda were completely going crazy, complaining about it, saying they're taking their jobs, and it was a big situation. But so what is your company doing differently? Do you guys offer training? Are you employing mostly Rwandans so that you can actually try and change the situation? What are you guys doing?
I'm glad you've asked that question, because at Deloitte, one of the emphasis is empowerment of the nationals of a country. So while we may have people who have come in from different countries because of the experience, Rwanda is still a very young country. So in terms, when you compare that to the East African neighbors, they have had, if you take Kenya for instance, it has had years to develop their economy. They have more people who are higher educated or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But Rwanda is moving towards that, and as they move towards that, there may be instances where you may have people coming in, expatriates, so-called.
Yes.
But the idea should be that they train, and empower the local Rwandans, give them the skills that they may be able to, continue and build the country as a whole.
Perfect.
At Deloitte, we do have, we are trying to recruit. We have 31 staff right now, and about three of them who are actually non-Rwandans.
Oh, nice.
So the majority of our staff are actually Rwandan.
Okay.
And we are emphasizing the graduate program. And even when our young people come in, we are encouraging them to do professional courses. So whether it's the ACCA or the CPA, Rwanda or Kenya, just to add more to that and build their skills.
So you offer internships and all these things?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
It's something we are doing at Deloitte.
Great. Thank you very much for coming to the show, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Well, you're up to date today's business headlines. Post news coming up next in just a minute with Ono Kwizera.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Time now for your sports news. Arnold Quizera. With local rugby, the National League semi-final playoffs are set to kick off this weekend with the defending champions Buffaloes Rugby Club in action. After going unbeaten in the regular league season, Buffaloes will hope experience will see them through to the finals when they entertain the University of Rwanda Grizzlies team in Saturday's opening match. Impressive debutants at Thousand Hills Rugby Football Club will hope to learn from their mistakes as they take on Mohanga Rugby Football Club in the other semi-final. To the English Premier League, Arsenal vs Chelsea is the headline fixture in this weekend's Premier League action, with Jose Mourinho's troops hoping to put one hand on the Premier League title with victory at the Emirates Stadium. Defending champions Manchester City host FA Cup finalist Aston Villa, hoping to cement their top four finish, while the team Villa-ejected Liverpool Football Club host relegation-threatened West Bromwich Albion at Anfield. Manchester United make the short trip to Merseyside to take on Everton Football Club. And in basketball, the NBA playoffs continue this weekend with a trio of games paving the way, but none is more interesting than the San Antonio Spurs hosting the Clippers. In the hotly contested Western Conference, the Houston Rockets make the short trip to Dallas to take on the Mavericks, holding a 2-0 lead in the series. The Washington Wizards will hope to wrap up their series when they host the Toronto Raptors, holding an assailing 2-0 series lead.
All right, Arnold. Now, let's start with what Arsenal and Chelsea could give us this weekend. I mean, everybody expects Chelsea to win. If they do win, it's almost like it's in the bag, basically, if you think about it. But at the same time, Arsenal has been playing fantastic lately.
Yeah, Chelsea need 8 points from their last 5 games of the season, and that's you already feel it's Jose Mourinho's title to lose. Then the sight of Didier Drogba leading that line should come to haunt and torment Arsenal fans. He has the best record against any club, against Arsenal, and he's Arsenal's the player Arsenal won't want to face at the Emirates Stadium. Drogba scored over 16 goals against Arsenal. That could tell you so much about his record. Arsenal, as usual, great form starting January towards the end of the year. Then they start the Wenger in. Wenger should stay before pushing for Wenger out at the end, at the beginning of next season. But I think it's Chelsea's fixture to lose. I don't think Jose Mourinho will play for a win. Going by what he did against Manchester United, he didn't play for a win despite him getting the win. I think he will come in again to look for a draw, because all he needs is a draw from this fixture and then go on and to win 2 other easier fixtures. And I'm saying I don't find the Premier League to have so many interesting games this weekend. I think one would rather look to the Serie A, where we're going to have the likes of Juventus versus Inter Milan. That should be the interesting match for any neutral to watch.
All right, now, you know what we're going to talk about. It's the NBA playoffs. What has been your feeling so far in the first round? What do you think are the forces in presence and those ones that are actually threatening Golden State Warriors to win the championship?
I feel a change in your tone about the Golden State Warriors.
Absolutely not, but I'll let you go.
I think Houston Rockets are on a good run. We expected Dallas to give them a harder time than they've already been given in the first 2 games that were played in Houston. But you feel Monta Ellis is not showing up. We expected him to at least guard. He's one of the best defenders in the league, to at least put James Harden away. But the beard has been all over the place. Monta Ellis, Rajon Rondo has been. I don't even have words to describe Rajon Rondo at this point of the season. He is a shadow of himself. He had 2 technicals, within the first quarter of the second series game. And you feel Dallas, they were banking on Dak a lot. Dak has tried to put in the points. But then Dwight Howard is also showing up. He's stepping up to be the big man many predicted him to be a few years back. He's starting to be more aggressive in the paint, and that's good news for Houston Rockets. As for your San Antonio Spurs, I'll reserve my words for those words.
Well, from what you've seen in the West and in the East, which conference seems stronger? Because in the regular season, we know which conference was stronger. That was the Western Conference. But where do you think the title is leaning now?
It depends on who comes out of the West. If Golden State Warriors come out of the West, I think Cleveland will be favorites to win this title, being that they have the experience of LeBron James. And then But then you also look at the Cleveland team having so many first-timers in the playoffs. Kyrie Irving, it's unbelievable, but you know, it's his first playoff ever. Golden State, this is, as a team, it's their second season after Mark Jackson led them to the first round playoffs last season where they lost. But it's still a close one between, to me, it's still a close one between Golden State and Cleveland, and that goes down to your call.
Now, last time, Alistair and I made our predictions. His predictions were Golden State Warriors versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. What are your predictions? Are you ready to make them now in front of the entire country, or are you still
I don't know why you're putting me on the
reserving
spot.
your picks?
I think...
Come on, jump in the water. It's fun.
San Antonio are playing at home the next 2 games, and that's going to be tricky. But Spurs, I don't think Spurs will survive 3 away series. You know, if they win this one, then their next series will still be away. Even if they win the semi-final, the final, they will still not have home court advantage. And with their legs, and you know, they're showing.
So your prediction is?
It's hard, but I'll go for Golden State in the West and Cleveland in the East.
Well, you guys heard it. Golden State Warriors against the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's Arnold Quizera speak. Thank you, Arnold.
Thank you, Regis.
All right, you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. We'll be right back after the break.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Let's take a look now at newsmaking headlines here in Rwanda and around the world.
A new police complex has been unveiled in Remera. The location will serve as headquarters for the Kigali Metropolitan Police, Gasabo District Police Unit, and Remera Police Post, and is located behind Amahoro National Stadium. The building was completed at a cost of 1.6 billion Rwandan francs and was commissioned by the Ministry of Internal Security. Officials say that the complex was built in accordance with international standards.
The Rwanda Agricultural Board is training a group of Burundian researchers on maize disease control. The training is specifically on how to impede the spread of maize lethal necrosis disease in Burundi, and highlights several measures that are used to check the disease spread here in Rwanda. Some of the methods focused on are alternating crops after maize harvest, weed and vector control, and using disease-resistant seeds, among others. The disease was first heard of in the beginning of 2013 in Musanze district before it spread to other areas such as Rubavu.
Plans are underway to turn Gishwati Mukura Forest Reserve into a national park. The reserve, which is located in the Ngororero and Rutsiro districts in the northwest of the country, will be transformed soon enough, with Parliament already considering a draft law that paves way for the move. The bill is currently before the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Education, Technology, Culture and Youth. Officials have confirmed that a team from the committee intends to visit the area on a fact-finding mission before they further discuss the bill.
And in regional news, 9 top Kenyan security officials have been suspended and could face charges of criminal negligence over the Garissa University College tragedy that claimed 148 lives. Al-Shabaab militants attacked the university in the northeastern town of Garissa earlier this month. Now, government officials have confirmed that a preliminary investigation into the response to the attack signaled that security functionaries, among them senior police officers, had failed to mobilize ahead of the attack, despite intelligence warnings.
Time now for a review of the headlines. Edmond Kagire joins us now to look through some of the front pages. Good morning, Edmond.
Good morning, Judges.
All right, now let's start with the crisis, the refugee crisis from Burundi. They were, when they first got to Rwanda, they were near the border in the southern province. And now they're moving them to Kirehe to have more space. And basically, it feels like they're not just seeking refuge anymore, but they're gonna be, staying here for the long run.
Yeah, thank you, Regis. It was yesterday. I was in the camps. I went there to check out the situation on my own, with my own eyes, and what I saw right there is just, very, very disappointing. You could see people, desperate to get a place to sleep, to get a place to spend the night. And when we got there were many people coming at the time. In Gashora, there were about, I think, on average, they told us about 300 people come on a daily basis. And I would say at the moment, the camps are very overwhelmed. You could see they don't have enough tents to shelter them, and I think it's the right thing to do to shift them to Kirehe. Because what we were told is that in Nyanza and Bugesera are correction points. Now they are taking them to Kirehe, which are transit camps. I think from there again they will get some other places to shift them to, the camps, the recognized camps. I think this situation is not going to go away very soon, because the people I talked to insisted that they are not going to go away very soon, because unless the political situation changes in Burundi, unless the current party leaves power, they are very open, they are very clear about it. They say we fled from a threat, and as long as that threat remains, we are not going back. So I think it's going to be a challenge for the Rwandan government, to make sure that all these people who are coming in between now and June, when the elections are expected, the numbers might swell to alarming levels, so it's a bit tricky.
What do you think about the fact that, here in Rwanda, all people can talk about are term limits, which the president seems to be extremely clear about, but there's a problem in Burundi because of almost the same thing. What do you think about that?
And
that
Congo,
disparity?
it's all over East Africa right now.
The people I talked to, I think Burundians have a way of being clear about what they want. The people I talked to told me that the people who threaten them tell me the current president doesn't run for the third term, you are dead. He runs for the third term and you don't vote him, you are in trouble. So there is no way to escape it. And they told me that even if you say, yes, I support Petero Nkurunziza to run for another term in office, they still say, because they identify them, they have a certain way of identifying all of them. So it's a bit tricky for them. For us, I think the debate is a bit different, very civil, very sane, you know, the situation is still calm. And I wouldn't think it would deteriorate to the same situation it is in Burundi. Or what happened in
Absolutely. It feels like we're going back to the
Kinshasa.
Dadae days and
Yeah.
Iwanunganya.
Certainly, we are a different country. That's what I would say.
Absolutely.
I think we'd handle it differently when the right time comes.
Well, speaking of being a different country, we're also a different country when it comes to welcoming news that don't seem, those kind of news that make you go, especially when they come from France. Now, not too long ago, they claimed they were going to declassify certain documents from l'Élysée, which is the president's office in France, dating from the early 90s to 1994. That caused a lot of, you know, we are very cautious when it comes to news that come from Paris. And now there's other news coming out of Paris saying that they might, after all, go after Wenceslas Munyeshaka, who was a priest that was here in 1994 during the genocide, and that played a role in the genocide. Now, this goes back to the early 2000s, I believe 99, 2000, when they say they were going to go after him. Never happened. What changed now?
I'm not very optimistic about this development, considering that there are about 20 or so trials that were supposed to be, you know, tried in France, high-profile trials, and if you ask me, I think only one has taken off. That is the case of Pascal Simbikangwa, who was handed, I think, 25 years some time back. So I'm not very optimistic that this trial is going to take off, and perhaps Munyeshaka will have to answer for his actions back in Rwanda. This is a man who was arrested in 2007, almost 10 years now, I think. Nothing has happened, and I don't think much is going to happen. Yes, we are seeing a little bit of change of heart with the declassification of documents of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. But again, you'd think it will take time for France, you know, to completely come clean and say, let's do what we are supposed to do. Let's try these cases. Let's send these people back home to be tried. There's still some sense of, you know, non-committal in France's
Now,
side.
members of what used to be Akazu back in the days, the Agatha Biarimanas and all these other people, will they ever see a court date? Will that ever happen?
I don't think so. France is still a safe haven for all these people who are wanted. I mean, if there's nothing to hide, certainly they would let these people come, be tried here, or try them in their own system if they claim to have that independent system. But nothing has taken off really, and this is something that should not excite us, that probably they're going to try him.
And it's something that
Someone practiced from, let's say, 1994 when he fled. He has been practicing up to 2007 until when, you know, the issue came up and, you know.
The outcry was too much.
Yeah, it was too much.
Right.
I mean, I could ask so many questions about this topic. You have no idea. But let me just go on to the last one before we have to wrap up with the newspaper. So we've been talking about this a bit. These migrants in the Mediterranean Sea, hundreds have died. And now Greece is saying that Europe needs to step up and take some action in terms of helping with rescue and sheltering all of these survivors. What's your take on this?
I think many more are going to die. Certainly, it is not ending with this group, the recent group that drowned in the Mediterranean Sea. I don't think it's actually the Greek Prime Minister that is calling for action. Even I saw the Maltese PM on TV also saying that they're overwhelmed. I mean, it's a small island in the Mediterranean Sea. These boat wrecks end up on their territory and they have nothing to do. Italy is overwhelmed, Greece is overwhelmed. So I think it's not Europe alone. It's a combination of many factors if this tragedy has to end in the Mediterranean. I saw the Prime Minister of Australia calling for European countries to put armed gunships and boats in the Mediterranean Sea to intercept the immigrants. Though I don't think it's a solution. The solution is in North Africa. I think if you pacify Libya, Tunisia, and Egypt, if you restore peace in those countries, and they have, they don't have porous borders anymore, I think people will stop infiltrating because most of them come from south, go through those countries, and end up on the Mediterranean Sea. And you also have ISIS complicating the whole matter.
Right.
So it is something that requires combined efforts from both the EU and perhaps the entire world. Otherwise, you're going to see many more deaths happening on the Mediterranean Sea.
Well, I hope that's definitely not the case. Thank you so much, Edmund,
Always
for
great having you
coming
on the
once
show.
again. We
Right.
missed you for a while there.
Thank you, I'm back.
Fantastic.
Right.
Okay, lots more still to come. We have the weekly movie review.
Connect to Lusaka 3 times a week starting 27th March. Enjoy comfort and safety at affordable fares to 17 other destinations across Africa and the Middle East.
Fly our dream to the heart of Africa.
Now, for today's movie review, we have something special lined up for you. Instead of reviewing new releases, as we always do, today we're reaching into the archives to share with you some of our favorite cult classics, all right? And that's all of us. It ain't just us,
Yes.
okay?
Yeah.
So,
Hold on a
that's-
second. Arnold has a
Yes.
cult
You know what?
classic?
That's the fun part about
Good
today.
point. We're going to start with Arnold. I'm excited to see what his cult classic archive choice is going to be, because if it's something from last year, I'm going to be so mad. Let's see what it is.
Arnold,
You tell us.
What's yours?
Arnold,
What's yours?
It's
are you here?
He's
Knock, knock.
worried. He knows he's on the first
no, okay, it's a 2006 movie.
How is that a cult
Oh,
classic?
That's
boy.
9 years back.
Okay, that's around the time you were born. Okay,
No.
uh-huh.
Okay, let's not get there. It's The Pursuit of Happiness. It's one of my favorite movies
And
by
it's
Will
a good
Smith.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very inspirational movie, you know, for a person who has been going through ups and downs.
Let's check out the trailer before we go on then. Okay.
Time when I was 28 years old. When I had children, my children were going to know who their father was.
Chris Gardner was doing his best,
We don't need two.
We don't need one.
Maybe next quarter. It's possible.
but his best
Hey! Wait!
wasn't enough.
Man, I got two questions for you. What do you do and how do you do it?
I'm a stockbroker.
Stockbroker. Oh. Hey, I'm gonna let you hang on to my car for the weekend, but I need it back for Monday.
Feed the meter.
I need the rent. I can't wait anymore. I need you out of here in the morning.
You gotta trust me, all right?
I trust you.
Because I'm getting a better job.
Ooh, child.
Let me see if I can...
So that's a really good one, I have to say. You're saying that it's not a cult classic, but to be fair, everyone has their own idea of what a cult classic is, and you know what? I love that movie. That is a really, really
Yes, it was
good
a-
one.
I remember crying on this one. It was quite nice.
I feel like this is not the first time that you said you've cried.
Yeah.
on
Well,
it.
the movie is nice. I appreciate movies
So you
and
cry.
I cry. It
So when you watch like The
suits me.
Kingsman, you cry.
No, come on, it has to be, you know, the
It's
kind
nice,
that's worth
so-
crying for. I mean, and Jaden was so young and cute, so why
Listen
not?
to
Yeah,
what
so
she says,
that's actually Will Smith and his real life son playing
Yeah.
in that movie. Very inspirational movie.
Absolutely.
If you guys are looking for a movie to watch this weekend, go ahead and check that one out, all right? So let's move on to Fidelis' choice. What's yours?
I don't want to tell until you see. Let's just do that. I just want you guys first.
We're going to decide for ourselves. Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard all the evidence. I submit that this was not a hot-blooded crime of passion. Consider this. A revolver holds 6 bullets, not 8. That means that he fired the gun empty and then stopped to reload.
By the power vested in me by the state of Maine, I hereby order you to serve 2 life sentences back to back, 1 for each of your victims. So be it.
Definitely a classic, but
That's
you know
a
what?
classic. See, that's the definition of a classic.
Look at
right
this
there.
old guy.
Right.
I'm good with classic.
Yes. Amen to
Strangely
that.
enough, let me tell you something, and it's crazy that you chose this for today, but I was just telling someone that I need to watch this movie just because I had seen it on, you know, online and stuff like that. I've never seen this movie.
Well, let me just let you know, it's an amazing movie. It's one of those movies. I like watching movies where at the end of the movie I feel like, wow, you know, I want to be smart like that, or I want to, you know,
Yeah.
that's the kind
And
of
I
love.
love
So,
Morgan
As in other
basically,
words, she's
exactly.
emotional.
So this movie is a 1994 American drama film starring Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman?
Yeah.
I want to ask a question. Was Morgan Freeman born or like a 94 movie?
Get
He
lost.
looks
So anyway, in the
for
movie,
94
Andy
movie.
Dufresne, who's played by Tim Robbins, is a banker who is sentenced to a life sentence and accused of killing his wife and his lover. So basically he goes to the Shawshank state prison, and then in the movie you just get to see about his life and how he's able to just wait, I don't want to ruin it for you, let me not say too much.
Wait, his wife and his lover?
And the lover of the wife, her lover, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Even still, that's drama.
That's too much.
Too much drama,
to
exactly.
take,
And
right?
it's really, trust me on this one, you want to watch it.
I definitely do want to watch it.
it.
I've seen amazing reviews about it, and it's a cult classic.
It is a cult classic.
I think I'm going to check all of them out. All right, well, I think I'll let Regis go last because he's such a big fan of the cult classics.
So much.
So I'll share my cult classic for this week. Every week I give a cult classic, so it's hard for me to squeeze out another one, but it's all good.
Please don't let me down.
I won't let you down.
Okay.
This one, I think that there's no one on earth that can say that this one is not definitely a cult classic. This one actually came out in Arnold. Get ready for this one. This movie came out in 1972. Okay, you know what? Let's just check
She's
it out.
older than
We're going
1972.
to exclude in this conversation.
It's true. I'm old enough. That's fine. Let's check out the trailer.
What do you want of me? Do what I beg you to do. Now you come to me and you say, Don Corleone, give me justice. You come into my house and you ask me to murder me. I ask you for justice. That is not justice.
They want to get mixed up in the family business? You gotta get up close like this, and bada bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
You give them one message, I want Salazzo.
Now that's all our war, we go to the
Some
back.
of the other families won't sit still.
They may hand me
Salazzo. My father would want to hear this. This is business, not personal.
They shot my father. That's
Even the
business
shooting of your
arrest.
father was business, not personal.
You know my father. Men are coming here to kill him.
Yeah. The
You got me,
Godfather.
man. Man.
Yeah.
Arnold's probably looking at you and thinking, you're ancient.
Yeah,
You
well,
should be like in a museum.
you know what? Listen,
should be
just
like
because
this.
a movie is older than you are doesn't mean that it's no good. This movie is a very, very,
This is
very good film.
I've watched a movie.
It's
I've watched a
arguably.
You have? Good.
It's
You've seen it?
I haven't.
arguably.
Actually,
I
I
watched a
haven't.
movie. There was a time I was growing up. I was about 11, 12, and they were showing like the Godfather, like
Trilogy.
Yeah, like about
So,
3 year old.
I have to say this though as a disclaimer. It's not really a movie for kids at all. So don't let the kiddies watch it. But it's a really, really good movie. Definitely a cult classic.
Absolutely.
One of the most beautifully shot films. And there's also a 2 and a 3. So it was made by Francis Ford Coppola and based off of a book. And basically it's about family. It's about business, but business like the mafia business.
Yeah.
And it's about basically, the head of the family and what transpires around him getting hit basically off and, the next Godfather coming up. It's a really, really, really good movie. I would recommend it to anyone who's above a certain age.
I would say
it's not for the
this.
kiddies.
You gave me a movie to watch over the weekend.
See?
I'll look out for that. I haven't
Now I'll watch
watched it.
Shawshank Redemption and you can watch
Then we can
Right.
give each other
The Godfather.
reviews.
And
Exactly.
we can say that the Godfather trilogy, was very influential in hip hop, for example, in other movies that came later on. I mean, it's up there. It's up there with the greatest ones.
for sure. Now
Oh,
let's
man.
save the best.
All right. Funny enough,
I don't
have
even know how to sit for this
Best
one.
folk. This is movie.
Funny enough, there's two actors in this movie that are in your movie pick. So
Really?
Let's just take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's here. I can feel it.
You search for the scent of your prey, and then you hunt them down. That's the only thing you're committed to.
It keeps me sharp, on the edge, where I gotta be.
You want to be making moves on the street? Allow nothing to be in your life that you cannot walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you spot the heat around the corner.
No, my life's a disaster zone because I spend all my time chasing guys like you around the block.
I do what I do best. I take scores. You do what you do best, trying to stop guys like me.
You've been walking through our life dead.
All I am is what I'm going after.
From The Godfather to Scent of a Woman.
What do we got?
From Raging Bull to Goodfellas.
You heard it from The Godfather.
But you can't go wrong with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro.
Exactly.
Well, to everybody at home, when this came on, Arnold said, "What is this?" And then Fidelis saying that she's watched it, and then he goes, "How old are you, really?" I mean, this came in the late 90s.
But
okay, Arnold.
Do you know, for some movies that are classics, it has to be inspirational. You know, this movie, honestly speaking, that movie is not based on a true story, one. There are so many movies that have been made.
Why are you
all movies? They're for entertainment.
Listen. The sports person wants to make this into a competition. It's not a competition. Everyone is sharing their favorite cult classic.
Stop
Okay?
complaining.
I'm just complaining about Regis's
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Just stop complaining and acknowledge that you have a lot of catching up to do and just...
No, I don't want to catch up with that.
This is a movie about
So do I. I've never seen the movie. I love the trailer. Unfortunately, we have to wrap up the movie.
all right.
Because and also, I don't think we would be able to handle you actually
No,
explaining your favorite.
for 15 minutes. Believe me, that's how dear it is to my heart. So let's not do that.
After the show, I'm going to give Regis a lecture about old school and classics.
Oh, Arnold, someone needs to give you a lecture. Now, as always, we can't wrap up the movie review without giving 2 free movie tickets to 1 lucky winner to go see any movie of your choice at Century Cinemas. So today, all you have to do to win this week is follow us on Rise and Shine RW and tweet us, or follow us on Facebook and comment the reason why you should win the tickets. As simple as that. Why should you win these tickets today, all right? Whoever has the best answer according to our panel of judges will win, okay? So we'll announce the winner on Twitter and Facebook. Good luck to you. Don't forget, we love to hear your thoughts, comments, and feedback on what we're talking about here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. Tweet us at Rise and Shine RW. We're always looking out for you. Like us on Facebook, Rise and Shine RW. Check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda YouTube page where you can catch all the shows and reports that we upload daily. Follow us on Instagram, Rise and Shine RW. We're always posting behind the scene pics. Or check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda website.
Well, that's all the time we have for today, but please let us know if there's anything else you'd like to see on the show. You've been watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Regis Isheja.
And me, Makeda Mahario. We'll be back here same time, same place tomorrow, so do join us then. But for now, from the both of us and the rest of the Rise and Shine team,
The beautiful team.
have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.